One of the most uncomfortable questions in automotive YouTube is finally being asked out loud. Did Matt Armstrong make a mistake buying his Bugatti Veyron? Because every single time this car gets fixed, it finds a new way to break. At this point, the question isn't just about fixing the car anymore. The real question is whether this car is even worth fixing at all. If you're coming across our videos for the first time, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and don't forget to share. Today we're breaking down the full story behind Matt Armstrong's Bugatti Veyron, every fault this car has thrown at him since he bought it, and the one question the entire automotive world is now sitting with: should Matt keep going, or should he quit? Most of you watching already know the full story behind this Veyron. But for the new viewers just discovering this saga for the first time, we need to break it down, because this isn't just any Bugatti Veyron. This specific car has a history that goes far deeper than anything Matt Armstrong knew about when he bought it. When Matt ran the VIN through Car Vertical after acquiring the car, what came back wasn't just a service history, it was a story. This Veyron was originally imported from Dubai, where there's a culture of ownership that sometimes prioritizes appearance over maintenance. Cars there either get driven hard or get ignored completely, and this Veyron fell squarely into the second category. The car arrived in the United Kingdom in 2018, and from that point the history becomes telling, because since 2023 this Bugatti Veyron had barely moved. A car worth well over £1 million, just sitting there for the better part of 2 years. And here's why that matters. Bugatti Veyrons are not built to sit still. The engineering inside this car is extraordinary: 10 radiators managing heat across the entire drivetrain, a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox with hydraulic accumulators that need to maintain constant pressure, and a fuel system feeding a quad-turbocharged engine that was designed to be driven, not stored. When a Veyron sits unused for months, the oil degrades in the sump, the gearbox fluid settles and loses its properties, the rubber seals throughout the car begin to dry out and crack, the fuel system stagnates, and components engineered to last years under regular use start failing simply from being left alone. Matt suspected early on that the car hadn't been properly maintained. When he drained the oil from the engine and gearbox during the first service, what came out confirmed everything he'd feared. This wasn't a car that had been crashed or abused in the traditional sense, it had simply been ignored. And a neglected Bugatti Veyron carries a very specific kind of damage, because that neglect doesn't show on the outside. The paint looks fine, the panels are clean, the interior looks presentable. But underneath, in the systems that actually keep this car alive, the neglect had been quietly building for years before Matt ever touched it. Car Vertical also confirmed something that added important context: no outstanding finance, no record of theft, no accident damage on record, clean on paper. But the mileage history told a different story. A car that barely moved for 2 years, imported from a market known for extreme conditions, passed between owners without the consistent care a Bugatti Veyron demands to stay healthy. That's the Veyron Matt Armstrong actually bought. Not a clean example with a full service history and a careful previous owner, but a neglected hypercar with years of deferred problems sitting quietly inside it, waiting for the next person to find them. That person turned out to be Matt Armstrong. Then came the faults, one after another. There was the gearbox warning, every light on the dashboard lit up at once, eventually traced to a blown fuse and solved with a 5-pound part from Halfords. There was the full service, completed independently for £1,193, against a quote from Bugatti of $25,000 for the same work. There was the misfire on cold start, chased down through the MAF sensors, the coil packs, and finally the spark plugs. Then there was the runway attempt at Dunsfold, 150 miles driven perfectly just to get there, the car accelerating down the runway, and then a complete shutdown. The cause turned out to be the fuel pump control module, a component covered by a recall affecting 72 Bugatti Veyrons worldwide. Bugatti's fix required the revised version of the module, and crucially, mandatory dealer installation. When Matt called Bugatti for help, they didn't answer the phone, leaving him with even more uncertainty about what would happen next. So here we are. After the Dubai import, the 2 years of neglect, the gearbox fault, the service, the runway shutdown, the recalled fuel pump module, and the phone calls Bugatti wouldn't answer, after months of solving one problem only to uncover the next. The question is simple: Should Matt Armstrong keep going with his Veyron, or is it time to call it quits? Because the argument for walking away is real. This car arrived with hidden damage from years of neglect. Every fault that's been fixed has revealed another one waiting behind it. Every time progress seems to have finally been made, another challenge appears. The fuel pump control module is the first component in this entire journey that genuinely can't be fixed without Bugatti's direct involvement. And Bugatti, the same manufacturer that refused to supply parts for a Chiron per Sport, that blacklisted another owner's VIN entirely, that once quoted $1.7 million for a repair before public pressure got involved, is exactly the company Matt now needs cooperating with to keep this Veyron moving. That is not a comfortable position. It leaves him dependent on the very manufacturer that has already proven difficult to deal with. A neglected hypercar with compounding faults, requiring the cooperation of a manufacturer with every incentive to make things difficult. For some people, that's the definition of a mistake. But then there's the other side of the argument. Matt Armstrong has fixed almost everything this Veyron has thrown at him independently. The 5-pound fuse that solved the gearbox warning. The 1,193-pound service that Bugatti wanted $25,000 for. The MAF sensors, the coil packs, the fuel system work. Every single one of those fixes proved something about this car, that it can be understood, that it can be worked on, and that the complexity Bugatti built into it isn't beyond the reach of a skilled independent mechanic who refuses to be intimidated. It's also shown that not every expensive-looking problem has an impossible solution. The fuel pump control module will cost roughly £4,500. For a man who's rebuilt a crash Chiron per Sport from nothing, is £4,500 really the moment to stop? Or is this simply another obstacle in a project that has already overcome so many others? There's something else worth considering too. Every fault this Veyron has developed, every repair Matt has documented, every phone call Bugatti has left unanswered has been watched by millions of people. Millions have followed every setback and every breakthrough. This isn't just a car anymore, it's a document. A running record of what Bugatti ownership actually looks like behind the marketing and the mythology, a side of ownership that very few people ever get to see. And that document has a value that goes far beyond whatever Matt paid for the car itself. So, did Matt Armstrong make a mistake buying this Bugatti Veyron? The faults are real. The neglect was real. The manufacturer refusing to answer the phone is real. But so is every fault Matt has fixed, every part he's sourced independently, every barrier he's pushed through without Bugatti's help. The Veyron isn't finished yet, and neither is Matt Armstrong. But after everything this car has put him through, the question of whether to keep going or call it quits is one that only Matt Armstrong can answer. What do you think he should do? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, because whatever Matt Armstrong decides next, you're not going to want to miss it.